So an ordinary college graduate started a website that grew over to having 100,000 email subscribers to its weekly email newsletter in a span of just 2 years, making it one of the fastest growing newsletters on the internet. His articles then got featured in major publication houses like Times, Forbes, and Entrepreneur. 6 years out today, the site features in the top 30,000 websites worldwide in terms of popularity, and the college graduate who was once a nobody has turned himself into a world-renowned habit coach, training Fortune 500 company leaders and staff. What made such an extraordinary achievement possible? What did the guy do differently? It all started with a simple writing habit. No scary goals, no big dreams. He decided he would publish 2 articles every week on Mondays and Thursdays, no matter what happened. Unlike most of us who have a history of quitting, he stuck to the habit, and that's how the site grew to become as popular as it is today. One of the reasons why only a few people attain mind-boggling success is because it's so easy for the unsuccessful majority to fall into the trap of underestimating the value of making small habit improvements. But habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just like the way money multiplies to compound interest, the effects of small habits multiply as you repeat them. If you get 1% better each day for a year, you'll end up 37 times better by the end of it. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for a year, you'll fall down to 0. Now the problem is that all of us want to see the effects of positive habit changes quickly. But that's not how progress really works. You can barely see the bamboo tree for the first 5 years while it builds extensive root systems underground before exploding 90 feet into thin air within 6 weeks. Now I know this isn't a bamboo tree image, but I couldn't find a copyright-free image anywhere. Anyway, let's get back to the point. The breakthrough moments we all desire are very similar in nature to the growth of the bamboo tree. They're the result of multiple previous actions which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. You can't cross those breakthrough levels unless and until you learn to value each step along the way, no matter how small it seems in the beginning. And that's one of the biggest takeaways from the book Atomic Habits. Small habits, whether good or bad, can make a big difference in the long run. James Clear, the author, then proceeds to explain the science of habits by showing how all habits can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Let's take a simple example and quickly run it through the habit loop. So you've been working on your desk for a good 5 minutes. Suddenly you feel distracted. Your eyes wander off to your phone, the cue, which is rightfully next to your laptop, and you crave checking it. You resist the urge once, but your hands reach out for it 2 minutes later. You pick up your phone, head to Facebook, and end up scrolling through the feed for half an hour. If you're wondering what the reward was in this case, it was the instant gratification you got from scrolling one of Zuckerberg's many social apps. For most of us, changing even such small yet productivity killing habits becomes super difficult at times. But the process can be made very easy by using what James calls the 4 laws of behavior change. Rule number 1. Make the cue obvious. Have you ever thought why you get tempted to have ice cream every time you open the fridge? 2 minutes ago you hadn't even thought about it, and now all of a sudden you're craving to have it. What changed in a moment? The idea of having ice cream got registered in your mind even though you just came across it accidentally. While we might not consciously realize it, but the environment or objects near us play a major role in driving our actions by acting as initiative triggers leading us straight to craving land. That's also one of the reasons why you scroll through social media 10 times a day. You keep your phone next to your work desk, and since it's within your realm of sight and easily accessible, it becomes a very strong cue for distraction. So how can you use these insights to build better habits? Let's say you want to develop a reading habit. Since you're mostly busy during the day, you decide you'll read every night before you go to bed. Here's what you could do. When you get up in the morning, just place the book you plan to read on your pillow. Now doing this might seem silly at first, but what you're doing here is designing a cue that is supposed to remind you to read. Obviously, just keeping the book on your pillow won't get you into the habit of reading regularly, because this strategy is only related to the first phase of the habit loop. In order to turn it into a habit, you will also have to optimize for the remaining 3 stages, which we will see in the video going ahead. Moving on to rule number 2. Make it attractive, or make it so attractive you crave it. Even though it happens unknowingly when we are young, we don't choose our earliest habits. We imitate them. And what influences us is the culture we're born and brought up in. If you're born in a family of geeks, you're more likely to become a nerd. Emphasis on the 2 words more likely. If you have friends that smoke, you're more likely to give it a try too. If everyone around you is raving about the latest amazing series on Netflix, you're likely to watch it too. But what's all this got to do with making a habit attractive? Well, one of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to become a part of a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior, and over time, the behavior will most likely become more attractive to you. If you hang out with friends that are into gymming, you're more likely to consider working out. If you join a book club and attend meetups regularly, you're more likely to read more books. Hanging out with the people who prioritize the habit you want to develop pushes you to do the same. Rule number 3. Make the response easy. Most of us decide to build a good habit and never act on it. Conventional wisdom would argue that what we lack is motivation. But more often than not, setting big goals is what holds us back. Now, on the outset, setting big goals might seem like a reasonable idea, but when it comes to habit change, the battle is often won or lost in the first few moments. The lesser the friction you have to face starting the routine, the more likely it is that you'll take the first step. And the 2-minute rule is one of the most effective ways to fight the tendency of giving up on new habits. So the rule states, when you start a habit, it should take you less than 2 minutes to do. And what's interesting is that you'll find that any habit can be scaled down to a 2-minute version. Read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. Now this might sound totally crazy. Some might even say it's a stupid mind trick. How can just removing the yoga mat get you to do 30 minutes of yoga? Or how can tying your running shoes get you to run 3 miles? But the idea is to make your habits as easy as possible to start. The actions that follow can be challenging, but the first 2 minutes should be easy. It's like designing a gateway habit that naturally leads you down a more productive path. Rule number 4. Make the habit satisfying. Now I'd urge you to pay special attention here because this rule is crucial for getting habits to stick. So chewing gums were sold commercially throughout the 1800s, but it wasn't until Wrigley launched in 1981 that they became a worldwide habit. What did Wrigley do? Until they came by, chewing gums were flavorless. Wrigley added flavors like spearmint and juicy fruit, making the act of eating gums satisfying for our sensory glands. And since we're all conditioned to want immediate satisfaction, what Wrigley essentially did was leverage our conditioning to sell us more gums. But when it comes to building habits, our tendency of wanting immediate satisfaction turns into a big hurdle because the effects of good personal habits are usually delayed significantly in time. So how can you use this time inconsistency between the two events and make a good habit instantly satisfying? One way to do that is to rope an immediate secondary reward. Let's say you want to get into the habit of saving money. Just open a saving account and label it something you want. Consider you label it yearly foreign trip. Saving immediately sounds exciting now, doesn't it? Now whenever you pass on an unnecessary purchase, put the money saved into the account. With time, you'll be less concerned about the secondary reward. Or maybe you won't in this case since it's a yearly foreign trip. But soon enough, what will happen is that your identity of being someone who avoids splurging money unnecessarily will itself become the reinforcer of the habit. Now throughout this video, we've mostly spoken about building good habits. But what if you want to break a bad habit? It's really not that difficult once you've understood the habit loop. All you need to do is flip the 4 laws of behavioral change. Make the cue obvious becomes make the cue invisible. Make it attractive becomes make it unattractive. Make the response easy becomes make the response difficult. Make the habit satisfying becomes make the habit unsatisfying. Now I'm sure you might still have a lot of habit related questions even after watching this video. To get those answers, I recommend reading the book yourself. Not only will it make you more conscious of your current habits, it will also equip you with the complete knowledge needed to change or optimize them. In the book, James also shares at least 3 strategies on how to build good habits and break bad ones for each part of the habit loop. In this video, I have just covered one for each part of the loop.